Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Corecast, the Corepunk podcast. I'm your host, the creator called Boast, and I'm absolutely honored to welcome Eugene and Pshak here of Artificial Core, who are working on the game Corepunk. Eugene is the producer, Pshak is the lead game designer, and we've been talking about this for a while, trying to make this happen, and I'm really so happy that we can finally sit down and talk. Eugene and Pshak, welcome to Corecast.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey everyone, thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. Also with us tonight is the Corepunk OG, Dvalin. That's DVALINDK on YouTube, DVALIN on Twitch. Hello, Dvalin, and welcome back to Corecast.
Well, hello, and thanks a lot for actually including me in this one. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. This is a special one, right?
This one is a big one.
Absolutely.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. So the preview you just heard was the Corecast, the podcast about Corepunk. Yes, that was episode 8 where me and Boast, we had the honor to talk with Eugene, the producer of Corepunk, and Pshak, the game lead designer of Corepunk. So Corecast is a podcast only about Corepunk. And Boast, he's the host and the creator of it, and I've just had the honor to be a part of a lot of episodes. But in episode 8, we had the honor to, interview Pshak and Eugene. Eugene, the producer of Corepunk, and Pshak, the lead game designer of Corepunk. It was a really fun and relaxing moment and touching. I mean, we had all kind of conversation, touching moments, emotional moments, fun moments, and yeah, it was really a cool podcast that almost takes 2 hours. I think it's almost 2 hours, and it's really good. So I will leave down a link in the description, and if you have the time, you should definitely go and listen to it. It's really good. But in this video, I'm just gonna do a big like a short recap of what all this podcast is about. What was the subjects and what was the all the conversation about. So in the start, of course, we started talking about the introduction, who was who and who was that, and there was Boast, and there was me, Dvalin, Eugene, and Pshak. Then Eugene started talking about when they released the trailer, and they both were very nervous, and they were like, kind of refreshing YouTube to see what people had to say about the game on public social media and YouTube. And Eugene was actually close going to bed, and he just wanted to refresh the last time his YouTube, and then he saw my video in there. I basically did a video on the same day they released the Corepunk trailer. I was on my way to bed, and then I saw the trailer, and I was like, I have to make a video about this now. And I just screwed going to bed and slept like 4 hours or something like that. And Eugene, he did the same thing. He instead of going to bed, he watched my trailer, and he got very emotional. The trailer that really hit him in the right spot.
By the end of the day, I was almost going to sleep, and I refreshed Corepunk search on YouTube for the last time, and I saw the new video. It was by Dvalin, and I watched it, and it just made my day. It was so emotional. Yeah. It was really emotional for me.
And because of that, he went to the office, talked with Pshak and the team about, doing this for me. And first of all, they started sending me a letter on email, and I responded back with a very emotional email because I got very happy. And from that moment, Eugene, he knew that he needed to do something, and that was visiting me on the 24th December in Denmark and giving me a gift. That's the gift behind me, you see there. I'm showing the screen actually. So after that, we talked about with them about how did they start the company, how many people were they, and just like how did you start, how is the vibe of the company, just everything about the company, how is it over there. And Eugene, he said that they started only 2 to 3 people, and they were actually creating this game in Excel sheets. They were filling out Excel sheets about what's the game about, what should everything be about. And Eugene also mentioned that it was first time they ever made an MMORPG, and then they kind of started with that. And both Eugene and when they later on got Pshak in and all that, were very hyping about it, because that was basically the first MMORPG they were creating. And Eugene also said in the start it was very hard to see where this game was actually going, but later on, when they finally got the name to the game, Corepunk, they were finally seeing the end of the tunnel, because they finally saw how they can use the word punk and core, and it kind of helped them shape the game. So the name actually helped them. I think Eugene said something about they called the game Shiny Knight. Am I wrong or something? Shiny Knight. I think that was what Eugene said, and Pshak also laughed at that. And then they decided to go with Corepunk, and it just helped them in every possibly way. And they also talked about how the offices, that they really like that people are laughing, having fun, and just like have a really, really good vibe. And of course, when they have to sometimes to deliver something on spot, on time, for example, if they, for example, promise us they have to deliver a quarterly update on Friday, they are really making sure they are delivering it on Friday. They're doing whatever they can. And sometimes it gets, not fun in the office, because people are so stressed or very, very controlling that they need to finish this. And I totally understand that. That's the same in every workspace. If you have a deadline, you have to hold it, and you have to do whatever you can. But after the deadline is finished, of course, they go back to having fun in the office, and they have their coffee points, and where they drink coffee, have fun, and all that. So that's really cool. So it was nice to hear that Artificial Core is a nice place to work. Everyone is happy, and they do what they do. And also he told us that all the offices in the all the tables in the office is on wheels, so they can move the offices all the time. So for example, if the law department and the graphic department need to do something together, they just simply roll the tables in a room together, and then they can work together, the two departments. That's pretty cool. So thumbs up for that. So also Boast, he asked them a very cool question. He said, asking about what game changed you, which game in the world has changed you on how you are, how you're thinking about games. And Pshak, he said first of all it was Diablo, then Fallout, and then lastly World of Warcraft. So the games that really are in the lead game designer's mind, in the head, is Diablo, Fallout, and World of Warcraft. So that's really cool. Eugene said something I didn't expect, but he actually said that the Curse of Monkey Island, maybe you have played it. I think the game is, as he also mentioned, comes from some kind of a LucasArts department or something like that. And also he mentioned the Pinocchio movie from 1940. So the Curse of Monkey Island and Pinocchio movie from 1940 was something that really made him, I don't know, but that was what has been his big changing in the world. And he really liked the details in the Curse of Monkey Island, so that's also why he really likes to go in the details of this game. Also, Eugene mentioned they are working on tons of detail in the game, and still a lot of the small details players haven't seen in the trailer. And he also said that they maybe should reduce how much details they create in the game, so they don't have to use so much time. You can imagine if you are a developer and you create 100 effects in this place, and people only find 20 of the effects. Then the 80 effects they created that is in the background, and they're still working, they're still showing, but you don't see them because you're just not focusing on them. For example, he told that in the trailer when the dwarf was running to the train, there was coming smoke out of the train, and it was actually like dodging the dwarf. There was dynamically smoke, and no one has mentioned that on the Discord server, because that's just so nice a detail, but no one is really appreciating it. It's something as gamers we just see, and we just oh, that's nice, but of course that's something that has to be in a game. You know what I mean? It's we don't like look at those details and think and talk about them. We just see them and enjoy them and don't mention them. And that's also what I think Eugene was trying to say, that people haven't even talked about all the details in the trailer, so they could maybe have reduced some of the time by not doing so much, but still they really enjoy doing all these details because it's important for games still. Eugene confirmed they are working on quarterly update. See, that's a very important point. They are working right now on a quarterly update. Eugene also said making videos takes a lot of time, and when they create these videos, that was one of the funny points. When they create these videos, it takes a lot of time, because imagine they have the 15-minute gameplay video. When they make this video, they have to make sure that this place they are running around in is 100% done, so people can see the areas, everything looks nice and comfort, and you know, everything looks good. But he said the problem was that when they create these videos, they kind of have to stop the development on other areas, and they have to focus on this place 100% instead of trying to develop more things at the same time. And I actually told him that I don't really care if he's gonna release more of these kind of videos. If that helps the development process, they don't have to make these gameplay videos, then stop it. Just give us like updates, like videos where he sits in his comfort chair and looks in the camera and just talk about the game and you know, new stuff that is coming. I said to him that, I mean, I don't need more than that, or just a quarterly update on the internet. Just give me a post on the website where they talk about things that are coming. I'm totally fine with that. But of course, Eugene said that not everyone is like me, and some people, they want to see gameplay because that's what they trust in. So, you know, that's how it is. So that's just how it is. Also, we heard that the first prototype of the game is barely done. I cannot really remember if it was, they said it was done or almost done. And the first prototype of the game, basically beta, is going to contain the first 20 levels of the game and the first 6 heroes. So out of 12 heroes, we can play 6 heroes, and we can play up to level 20, that is halfway through the game. It's basically, you know, max level is level 40, and then you can play up to level 20. So that's pretty cool. So I definitely like that thing, because I was really afraid of they will release a beta with everything in it, and I don't really like that. I like to have a beta where it's like phase 1 you can try this, phase 2 you can try this, phase 3 you can try this. So I'm really happy that the first beta we're getting, hopefully soon, is going to have the first 20 level. And Pshak, he also mentioned that the first 20 level is going to show you 77%, I think he said 77% of the game, or I think he's probably just said 70% of the game is going to be in those first 20 levels. So of course that's going to be open world, questing, dungeon, probably also PvP, you know, all the main mechanics in the game. So the last 30% that is not shown in these 20 level is probably like, you know, in-game dungeons, raiding, you know, stuff like that you cannot do in normal MMORPGs when you're not max level. So that's pretty cool. Also, Pshak, he spoiled that there's gonna be no NDA in the beta. No NDA. So that means the first day the beta goes live, and of course I get a beta key. Of course, you know, I'm just teasing. But if I get the beta, and that means I can basically do content from day 1 till whenever I don't want, because there's going to be no NDA. I can show whatever I want. I can make a video about all the classes, all the areas, all the quests, whatever I want. So that's really cool. I really appreciate there's going to be no NDA, and that's something other games could learn about, just get it out on the market. But yeah, that's how it is. And Boast also asked Pshak, the lead game designer, if he likes to craft. And Pshak actually said that he loves crafting, and he's always a crafter in MMORPGs. Also, he's a big fan of PvP. So you heard it, guys. The lead game designer itself is a crafting fan. That means this game is definitely going to have awesome crafting. And he's a big fan of PvP, you know, player versus player. So that means, don't worry, it's not going to be like other MMORPGs where PvP is just forgotten and it's just like a little thing in the corner. I'm pretty sure when the lead game designer, he's a PvP fan, this game is gonna have solid PvP. I mean, seriously, that's gonna be so cool. Then Boast, he also asked if Pshak and Eugene had a dream class like I have a dream class that is a brute with a two-handed sword that can tank. Then Pshak, he actually answered that his dream class is an orc with a minigun. And that's pretty fun, because that was actually one of the things that Pshak he spoiled on the Discord server, on the Corepunk server, that we can play an orc with a minigun. And now he just confirmed that it's because that's his favorite dream class in the world. A big orc with a big minigun. That's really cool. And I also asked him if he was a Warhammer 40k fan, and he said yes. So it's pretty cool. But Eugene, he actually said that he doesn't have a dream class, but he loves creating them for people. So that means he doesn't really have a dream class he wants in the game, but he likes to hear what people have in mind and make that come true. So that's also a pretty cool way to see it. And the last thing that I had the honor to ask them was that, how is raiding gonna be? Is it going to be 20 people or is it going to be 12 people? And Pshak, he said they are still thinking about it, but they have to test it. So Pshak himself he's mostly fan of doing it as a 12 man, but he don't want to say which it is yet because he want to test both 12 and 20. And he actually said he want me to test it with him. Yeah, he said that. So I'm pretty honored that he told me that, because that's going to be the first time I'm going to test a game with a developer. So that's really going to be fun. That's going to be so fun. So that was basically the whole overview of the podcast. I know that a lot of people, they were kind of expecting to get a lot of news about the game, like the normal Q&A. They were probably expecting us to just ask them 50 questions about the game. There were things we want to know. But no, we just had a really cool talk with them in almost 2 hours. We talked about all sorts of different things about the game, these like small things, and then we had these small questions here that I just mentioned here. So in overall, it was a really, really cool podcast, and we learned more about the developers themselves, who they are, what they do, what they like. And so that's just really cool. And both of the guys, both Eugene and Pshak, was a really cool guys, and it was just so fun. So I'm definitely looking forward again to play this game again, because the developers are so nice and passionate and transparent. So it just motivates me more to play the game when the people who makes it is really dreaming and breathing for it, instead of a game where you just have a publisher slavering them. You know what I mean, like a publisher who just hits the development in the head and say, go make this game. But here we actually feel the developers having a passion for this game, and it's so much more motivating. It's like if you buy a sausage from a guy who hates his job, or you buy a sausage from a guy who loves his job. The sausage from the guy who loves his job is probably going to taste better because he actually loved making sausages for you. You know what I mean. So yeah, so that was just my little recap of the stream, and I'm just gonna end it with having a fun story, because Boast, he was actually contacting me mid of the day at I think it was Saturday, and then he said to me, do you have time to come on with a podcast with me tonight? And I was like, I don't really think I can, because I'm in a roller coaster park and I have to drive home later, and I just think it's bad timing today. And then he wrote to me, Eugene and Pshak is gonna be here. And I was like, I'm going home now. I'm coming home now. So I was like, okay, screw all my plans. I'm just coming home now. And we went, when the roller coaster park closed, we went to the car, I drove home, and threw the kid and my wife in the bed, and I said good night, and then podcast with Eugene and Pshak and Boast. It was fun. It was a good day. So yeah, so that was my story about the podcast. And again, please go to Boast and subscribe to him, like his video, watch his podcast if you want. And of course, I gave you the main objects about the podcast here, what it's gonna be about. So thanks for watching, everyone, and let me know what you think about the podcast in the comments. Let me know what you think about this, and well, fingers crossed for when we're getting new Corepunk news, because it's gonna be awesome when we're getting the quarterly update that Eugene is talking about. So again, have a nice evening, everyone, and see you in another episode. Bye.